Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy J Cobb, and you're listening to the Cobbcast, a place for like-minded entrepreneurs to connect, share, and grow. And I'm your host, Jermaine Cobbins, where I'll be sharing valuable content to help you to become a better entrepreneur and an all-around better person. We'll be discussing mindset techniques, business strategies, and ways to help take your life and business to the next level. So whether you're driving right now, whether you're at home, whether you're at work, go ahead and turn your speakers up, sit back, and let's ride. Yo, what's up, guys? J Cobb here, and welcome to another episode of the Cobbcast. So for those that have been tuning in, I appreciate your guys' feedback. I appreciate the ones that are actually leaving comments on the actual video version of these, where you can find these over on YouTube. But in today's episode, guys, we're actually going to be talking about success supposed to be slow. Now, I know what you're thinking. You may be thinking like, well, Jermaine, I know that it's supposed to be slow, but there are so many people out there that actually believe that an overnight success is typically overnight. And let me tell you something, guys. There are so many success stories out there where people have, quote, been this overnight success that may have taken them 10 years. So I don't know exactly where you're at in your journey, but the idea is at the end of this episode, guys, I'm looking for you to walk away with actual like practical things that you can do to really just set the tone in your journey. Because when it comes to success, you may be thinking that it may be a level of income. It may be some type of title, right? But guys, really, it's the person that you're becoming along the way, and it's supposed to be slow. And we're going to talk about that in this episode, okay? So, first thing first, let me ask you guys a question. How exciting would life be if you knew everything? I want you to really just think about this for a minute. If you knew everything, how exciting would your life be? Now, you may be thinking, I can hit my goals quicker, right? I can build that business faster. I know exactly what person to talk to and what person not to talk to. But if you knew everything, how exciting would life be? Right? Let me just give you a few examples. We can just turn away from business. What about the weather? Right? There are people that live and die by checking the weather each and every day. Now, me personally, I really don't care about the weather. Now, I used to watch the weather a lot back when I was riding motorcycles because I didn't want to get caught in the rain, right? But if you don't work out in the weather, right, what's the purpose of checking the weather? And a lot of people really cannot answer this. And the idea is, we are afraid of what's ahead. We don't like to be, shocked with anything. You know what I mean? In most cases, people are just checking for storms. But the idea, guys, is like, have you noticed that when you check the weather, and if it's a nice sunny day, it's not really much buzz around it. But if it's a storm brewing, or heavy wind, heavy rain, the idea is like so many people are talking about it. Why is this? And we all know human nature, guys, right? Negativity spreads faster. But the idea, guys, is that imagine if you knew everything, including the weather, right? I know you may want to prepare, for us clothing and things like that. But for the most part, some of you guys work from home. So weather is not even something that you should be even, paying attention to, right? So the idea, guys, is this, man. If you knew everything, it wouldn't be fun. Okay? If you knew that, okay, this next person was going to reject you, or your next business venture was going to be a complete failure, what are the chances of you taking on the actual business? What are the chances of you approaching that person? See, the idea is, the element of surprise, guys, is where the lesson is. If we knew everything, what's the point of living? Right? What about your next breakthrough? If you knew that the next move that you was going to make was going to be that breakthrough, well, guess what? It wouldn't be as exciting when you actually break through. The excitement comes from not knowing when, and when it happens, you're like, man, like, I'm here. You know what I mean? And guys, I've had so many breakthroughs in my life. It's been so many things along, not just in my life, but in business that, when I come upon these issues or these problems, I didn't think I was going to get past them, right? But yet I just put my head down and I just trust and I believe and I just keep pursuing this thing. And I wake up one day knowing something that I once struggled with. And if you guys can relate, continue listening. The idea, guys, is that if you knew everything, if you knew all the skills, if you knew everything you need to know to build your business, if you knew the weather, if you knew how much money you would make, if you even knew your dying day, it wouldn't even make it wouldn't make your life exciting. It wouldn't make for an exciting life. If you knew how many people you would meet, if you knew exactly who your friends would be, if you knew everything, guys, you know, it wouldn't make for an exciting life. So I say that to say this: success supposed to be slow. All right. So moving on. If you had $1,000,000 right now today, what would you do? And this is by far one of my favorite questions. Okay. For those that are small thinkers, scale it back to 100,000. Right. If you had $100,000 deposited into your account today, right, what would you do? All right, for my bigger thinkers, if you had $1,000,000, you check your phone right now and you just had a deposit of $1,000,000. What would you do? Okay, so many people don't have an answer for this. All right, and that's the blessing in your success not being overnight. And I know you may think that winning the lottery will be, the answer to all your problems, right? But in most cases, guys, it's not, because you are the same person. You only know what you know. Right? You cannot hook a USB port up to your head and download information. Now, that'll be cool, right? But you cannot do that. So the idea is, even if you come into money overnight, you're still the same individual. So the idea is to make sure that you are developing, that you're stretching, that you're growing, that you're improving, that you're going through this life as an experience. And I say that to say this, guys. If you had that $1,000,000 in your bank account today, most people would probably panic. Right? Not only that, they would probably go out and just throw away some money. But on this episode, I want to help you guys to get clarity. Okay? Yo, what's going on, guys? J Cobb here. So I hope you're enjoying this episode as much as I am. If so, do me a favor by smashing the like button. Don't forget to share this video out and be sure to leave a comment. Also, if you're ever looking for ways to generate income from home on a shoestring budget, even with limited time, then I'm your guy. There should be some links below in the description, guys. Also, if you're just really loving this Cobbcast episode and you want to contribute, there will be a link below for contributions. Other than that, guys, we're heading back to your Cobbcast episode. Thanks for listening. Let's get clarity. What your tax rate on $1,000,000 would be. Think about it. If it was $1,000,000 deposited into your account, first of all, figure out, like, okay, is that already taxed and you get the million? Or is it 1,000,000 and you have to pay your own taxes? Because if you have to pay your own taxes, your money instantly changes. I mean, it goes from 1,000,000 to possibly around 600K right off the bat. You know what I mean? Depending on, your state and your tax laws. So the idea, guys, is that getting clarity, because when you get clarity, you don't really have to have as much fear and anxiety. When they say more money, more problems, a lot of time, guys, it's because of lack of clarity. And we know that there are things where, more people can sue you and so many other things that can go on. But the idea is, like, have you ever really thought about how much money it would take to hire the proper lawyers, right, to properly protect your assets? Most people don't think about this. But if you knew that it cost $200,000, $300,000 if you were wealthy per year to properly protect your assets, and have the proper legalities into play, I mean, you can rest a little better. That, and I've heard this, I think, from Will Smith. I think Will said he's sued around 20 to 30 times a year. But due to having the proper lawyers and the proper legalities into play, those are things that he don't have to worry about. He don't have to stress about that because he paid someone to handle those issues, right? So let's just say that $1,000,000 or that 100K is something that you have to pay taxes on, right? So now you're already down to 600K, or in some cases, if you've done the 100, you may be down to $60,000. What now, right? How would you diversify the money? Okay, meaning, where would you place this money? How can you make this money last? And most people are like, well, I invested, right? Most people that feel that they are evolving, right? You kind of get a little education under your belt. You feel like, you know what? I just invested. I said, okay, invested in what? I invested in something to make money, right? Or some people may say, I invest in real estate, or I invest in stock, right? Whatever the case may be. So if you feel that you would invest in real estate or you would invest in stock, okay, what would you invest in? How do you know what you know, right? Are you already in the process of dabbling a little bit in stock? Do you have a few shares in the company, right? Do you own your first rental property? If not, are you educating yourself on some of the expenses and the fees, and how to gauge your deals if you're going to be buying and holding, or you maybe want to get into flipping a little bit? Are you educating yourself on these things? Majority of the people are not. So here's where that stress comes in. Here's where you are taking 100K of your money, or 30, 40, 50K of your money, and just putting it in a hope, right? You're just gambling with your money, right? And I'm not saying that just because you know more that you're guaranteed success. But what happens is, if you know more, you're making more of an educated guess, opposed to just slinging mud hoping something sticks. You know what I mean? So the idea is thinking about how would you diversify your money. How are you gonna make this money last? Even if it's 60K, right? You down to 60K. How can you make that money last? And a lot of people think that, well, it's only 60K. You're not gonna buy a house, maybe buy a car, and you're broke. Right? Some people may say, well, I'll just put it in a bank account and save it. Well, you may have to pay interest on that. You may have to pay taxes on that in some cases, depending on the amount of money, right? So now your money is dwindling down, and eventually you're going to be broke. Whether you take the million or take the 100K. You take the million, just buying more time, but eventually you'll be broke because you still have to learn certain things. How and where would you live? When I say how would you live, like, what's the square footage of your home, right? How much is your ideal lifestyle, right? How much are you willing to pay yourself monthly or annually to live the lifestyle that you want to live, right? And a lot of people don't think about this. What is your lifestyle, your ideal lifestyle? Maybe, you may be surprised that, the way that you really want to live may only cost you 10 grand a month. I mean, 10 grand, 10 grand a month, right? So if it's 10 grand a month, you guys know that a portion of that will go into investments, savings, being, paid with taxes, maybe some of your insurance and your medical expenses, things like that. But the idea is now you're in a window, maybe $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month. That may meet some of you guys' ideal life. I don't know. Some of you may need 50K, right? The idea, it doesn't really matter, but what does that consist of? Because it's never the amount of money. Maybe you want to travel with your friends. Maybe you want to do certain things in your actual community. Maybe you have bigger dreams of creating something that can impact the world, right? So understand, guys, like, getting clarity on this is the sole purpose of your success. It's the sole purpose of you basically enduring your hardships, because it gets hard on everybody, right? It gets hard, guys. And to end this, I want to share a personal experience with with you guys on my road to recovery with building my credit back, right? So the idea, guys, is for so many years I struggled with throwing away my money, right? I'm fascinated by cars and motorcycles, and I think every guy is, but I'm fascinated by these things, guys. So what I done once I first started working, these were things that I always wanted, and that's where most of my money went, into cars and motorcycles. And of course, along the way, I purchased shoes and clothing, and guys, I threw away a lot of money. And in the midst of all of this, I never had $1,000 to my name, and I barely knocked at a 600 credit score. Yet, guys, a few years ago, life really hit me. You know what I mean? And I got to a place, guys, where I was tired of renting. I had just recently gotten married, and I was looking for a change. I was looking for a shift in my life. And what happened, guys, is that in the midst of this storm, I actually began to just like say, you know what, man, I want out of this. And just like anybody that's dealing with debt right now, you may be thinking that, you know, while you're in your debt, you want a fresh start. And that's how I was, guys. I wanted this fresh start. And what happened was I tried to file for bankruptcy twice. And I was turned down twice. So the idea is, you know, the people were basically telling me that your issues is really not big as you are making them, right? Your issues is something that you can literally you can take care of yourself. And it was a wake up call for me because, you know, I was like, okay, I'm making this bigger than what it is. And I had student loan debt, I had credit card debt, I had all these things, but I didn't have anything that wasn't, you know, something that I can fix, right? Nothing that was irreversible. And I just made this commitment, guys. And just so happened I picked up this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which led me over to Think and Grow Rich. And these were the things that literally shifted my mindset and allowed me to start getting rid of some liabilities, start getting rid of some things that were costing me money. And guys, just this year, 2019, the time of this recording, is when it's the very first time that I've crossed over the 700 mark credit score. I never thought that it was possible. You know what I mean? I thought that a 700 credit score was just one of those things that was far-fetched, right? But guys, I went consumer debt free, I believe, in 2016. And it still took years to basically build it up. And I'm still educating myself on, you know, credit and how credit works and leveraging credit. And, you know, at the time of this recording, guys, I'm seeking the next level of my life. And that's, you know, crossing, you know, over the 750 or close to the 800 credit score, as well as $500,000 credit line, you know. So the idea, guys, is that it's possible, you know, but it was a slow process. But it was a process, and I learned so much along the way because I had to get rid of some bad habits in order to get my credit right. And if I would have just, you know, been able to file bankruptcy and just clear my debt, well, guess what? The chances of me getting right back in debt were they was higher. So going through that hardship, getting rejected, and them telling me that, you know what, your issues are not really that big. Guys, it put everything in perspective, and I learned so much along the journey. So I hope this really helps you guys out, and I'm curious to know, you know, be sure to let me know in the comments below, you know, what you're dealing with right now. You know, I read every comment, and just let me know, guys, have you experienced some of these things in your life? And maybe you're in the midst of something right now. I'm just here to let you guys know that no matter what you're going through, you are in that arena for a reason. It's something that you should be learning. You know, and I have a motto, guys, you know, you either win or you learn. You know, no more losses. You know what I mean? So, other than that, peeps, I hope you guys enjoy episode 8. I will see you guys on the next episode. It's your boy, J Cobb. Be humble, be consistent, be you.